With Jon Jones reclaiming his UFC Light Heavyweight title at UFC 214, there are a number of different opponents who he could face next, where each opponent presents a unique challenge. So here is 5 possible matchups for Jon Jones after UFC 214. Number 5. Volkanovski has made himself known very quickly in the UFC Light Heavyweight division after dominantly defeating 3 of the best light heavyweights in the UFC. He made his short notice debut against Ovin St. Preux, where he won the fight by a split decision at UFC Final 104. He then demolished both Misha Sakunov and Jimmy Manuwa in just under a minute. With only 3 fights in the UFC, he has made himself known to be a serious threat in the division and has proved so far that he can hang with the best fighters in the world. It would be interesting to see how Jon Jones would deal with Volkanovski's explosive power. I believe we will see this fight happen sooner than later. Number 4. Stipe Miocic is the current UFC heavyweight champion who has just looked terrifying in recent years, where he has finished his last 4 fights in the first round with his vicious knockout power. Jon Jones has teased many times that he will eventually move up to the heavyweight division. I believe now is the perfect time to move up and book this fight, as it will give Jon Jones an opportunity to hold both the UFC Light Heavyweight and the heavyweight titles simultaneously, just like Conor McGregor. It will be interesting to see how Jon Jones would handle Stipe Miocic's pressure and his heavy hands, and also how Stipe Miocic would deal with Jon Jones' long reach and his unorthodox striking. This super fight would be amazing to see, and hopefully we can see this fight happen soon. Number 3. Anthony Johnson is one of the most scariest knockout artists to have ever competed in mixed martial arts. He had used his monstrous power to clear out the light heavyweight division, but was unable to defeat then UFC Light Heavyweight champion Daniel Cormier. After suffering his second title loss to Daniel Cormier at UFC 210, he immediately announced his retirement from the sport. He recently has shown interest in making a comeback just to fight Jon Jones if the money was right. If Anthony Johnson somehow came to an agreement with the UFC and was offered to fight Jon Jones for the title, it would be interesting to see if Anthony Johnson would be able to use his brute strength and land one of his nuclear bombs on Jon Jones. This would be an amazing fight to witness, and hopefully we can see it happen soon in the future. Number 2. Brock Lesnar is the former UFC heavyweight champion who used his great wrestling skills to dominate the top heavyweights, where he became one of the biggest draws in UFC history. His last appearance in the UFC was when he defeated Mark Hunt by a unanimous decision at UFC 200. The victory was overturned to a no contest after Brock Lesnar tested positive for banned substances. Rumors are circulating that Brock Lesnar will be returning to the UFC near the end of the year. Hearing this news, Jon Jones called out Brock Lesnar after his win at UFC 214. Both fighters seem interested in fighting each other, where it will be interesting to see how Jon Jones deals with Brock Lesnar's brute strength and his heavy grappling skills. This will be an exciting fight to see, and hopefully we can see it happen soon. Number 1. Alexander Gustafsson is the only man to give Jon Jones his toughest test to date, as he pushed him throughout the 5 rounds at UFC 165. Alexander Gustafsson was able to dominate Jon Jones on the feet and even took him down in the first few rounds of the fight. In the later rounds, Jon Jones was able to make a comeback, where the unanimous decision victory was given to Jon Jones, who retained his UFC Light Heavyweight title. Many had thought that Alexander Gustafsson had done enough to win the title, but the judges didn't see it that way. With Jon Jones winning the UFC Light Heavyweight title at UFC 214, the clear number 1 contender in the division is Alexander Gustafsson, who is coming off 2 great wins over Jan Blachowicz and Glover Teixeira. This is the fight to make, where it will be interesting to see how both fighters have evolved since their first fight at UFC 165. So guys, who do you want to see Jon Jones face next? Let me know in the comment section below. Thank you.